Hello, in this new short video we're going to be showing you how to run a report on video on demand content. So we're going to be focusing only on standalone video on demand. We're not still linking it with linear content as we're going to another video. And we're also going to be showing you how to start filtering by viewing time, okay? We are going to start then from scratch a new report. You can of course start choosing for which target channels that you're going to be running the analysis. I'm only going to be looking at the channels, so I will select online channels only because the other ones are not really relevant. I will run it for the last day, for the standard day, so it's all day. And you have to remember to choose a video on demand activity because by default the selection is consolidated PV 7 days. Okay, so simply going to be choosing video on demand. I'm going to be skipping all the rest, so I'm going to be running without any content filters and basically come here and select the contents report. Okay, this is very similar to a programs analysis again, but it's based only on video on demand. You will see that once you choose the contents, then two relevant units are going to be selected by default. You can keep them, you can add more, you can replace them by your own selection. You can, for example, start adding rating metrics, but you have to remember that those are based on duration and not always we get the right duration in the metadata. So you have to be cautious when you select rating for video on demand until you know that the quality improves. So for a moment, just keeping total number of minutes viewed and average reach. Okay, that's everything you need for a very basic sort of analysis. So I'm just going to be clicking on calculate. The system goes to the database and then you have all the information here. This is the content. You can of course sort the information, for example by number of minutes, and you see all the different contents, the channels that transmitted it, for which day, the duration, the genre, and in this particular case the number of minutes and the total number of people that viewed at least 1 minute of this one. It's very simple as this. Now imagine you want to start filtering this and you're only interested in the viewing between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. The only thing you need to do is go back to the report and you will see that there's now a new checkbox here which says filter viewing by time band. By default it's not going to be clicked, but you can start clicking on this one, and what that means is that everything you define now under the time bands will be selected for the run. Okay, so if I go here and I'm going to create a new one, going for example from 19 to 22, I'm going to be adding it. I leave a standard title and I make sure that it's selected. With that checkbox and this selection I can recalculate this, and now the system will show you the viewing of both content but only the viewing between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Okay, it's very simple. It takes advantage of what we already have defined as time bands. You just simply have to remember to click on this little checkbox. Now there are a number of things you can also remember you can do. On any of these contents I can choose one or more than one, and with the right click, right, you can start looking at a preset, for example the quarter-hour reports. This will show you what was the viewing or the particular content that you selected, as you can see between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. because that's why I've selected in my filter. I selected 3 of them. They're here under activity, so if I can put them here, you can now see the 3 different contents that I chose, and you can see what is the performance on a quarter hour or minute by minute. If I go back and in the time bands I decide to divide by minutes instead of quarter hour and rerun, you will now see at what time exactly were those VOD contents watched. Again, based on the filter that I defined between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Okay, just doing it again, but now based on no filter. So what I'm going to be doing is unclick the filter viewing by time band so we can see it for the entire day. Going to recalculate. I'm going to be sorting, and I will click on these two main ones. Okay. Right click. You can start looking at a day part report, programs by minutes, or a preset. And one of the presets that we have and we are given to is the quarter hour report or the minute by minute report. Either of them, you just click on that. You have the grid for the two different contents. You can navigate, you can obviously put them in the foreground. And then you can start looking at when this content was played back. This again, you can start looking from one to the other one. Or you can say, I want to compare both. And I can see the two contents. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce the names of these programs, but you can see when exactly on that day they were viewed. Okay? Final thing you can do, again, with one or more contents, after selecting them, you can right click, and under new analysis, you can start looking at programs by minutes, or the presets, which is called programs by minutes. It's under advanced. Programs by minutes, here it is. They are the same, except that in this particular one, you can see a little graph. But if you come to the grid, you will see that I now have the two contents, and you can see the minute by minute. This is different from the one that we saw before. The one that we saw before shows you at what time, in which minutes during the day they were watched. What this one shows is how many people watched the first minute of the content, the second minute of the content, the third minute of the content, and so on. So it's not linked to the chronological viewing, it's linked by the offset, so then minute 1, 2, 3, and 4 of each one of the contents. These are the two main things you can do with the right click from this type of analysis. In another video, we're going to be showing you how to start linking this online content with the linear one.